and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You will find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
With NWKS Radio News, I'm Lucas Kenny. Just before 3 p.m. on Friday, May 1st, a 2015 Infiniti QX80 with a trailer attached, driven by 52-year-old Richard Valega of Colorado, was traveling eastbound on I-70 with passengers, including 52-year-old Jesse Villegas and 3 children aged 7, 2, and 0. Another vehicle, a 2017 Toyota Camry, driven by 74-year-old Gary Smith of Topeka, approached the 2015 Infiniti from the rear, striking the trailer on the passenger side, causing the first vehicle to slide sideways before entering the south ditch and ending on the driver's side. In other news, the state of Kansas ended April 2026 with total tax collections at $1.4 billion. That is $31.6 million or 2.3% above the estimate. Total tax collections were up by 4% from April of 2025. For updates on these local stories and more, visit nwksradio.net.
Today will be cloudy with light rain showers persisting through the day and colder with highs around 45 and northeast winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. A quarter to 3/4 inch rain totals are possible through evening. Tonight's lows will drop to around freezing and rain changes to snow areas west of Highway 27 after midnight through mid-morning tomorrow. 1 to 3 inch accumulations are possible along the Colorado line and up to 8 to 10 inches from Flagler along I-70 to Denver. Rain continues through Wednesday afternoon with total moisture accumulation of a half inch to an inch and a quarter possible. Highs will only be in the lower 40s, northerly winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour, and overnight lows in the upper 20s and low 30s. Thus, a freeze watch is in place for Wednesday night through Thursday morning, west of a line from McCook to Gove. This meteorologist Chris Rummick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
You can feel it in the air. Longer days, greener lawns, and plenty of projects waiting around the house. Good thing Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland has you covered. Freshen up your home with Benjamin Moore paint, tackle the yard with powerful Ego battery tools, and give your lawn the boost it needs with Stage 1 Ultimate Fertilizer. Thinking about cooking outside? Check out their great selection of grills, griddles, smokers, and outdoor living essentials. And remember, if you need it, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware probably has it. They even have milk. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your place for just about everything.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Got your tax refund? Don't blow it. Upgrade it at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get into a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 up to $7,000 in rebates or 2.9% for 48 months. Or into a 26 GMC Sierra 2500 $1,000 rebate or 4.9% for 48 months. And the 26 GMC Acadia 2.9% APR plus $750 in rebates with GM Financial. Your refund won't last, but a new GMC will. Stop by Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland or visit hurlchev.com.
Your Cheyenne County Hospital in St. Francis offers you a quality rehabilitation department. This includes a variety of staff that provides physical therapy, occupational therapy, aquatic therapy, speech therapy, and women's health. To schedule an appointment, call 785-332-2104. Again, that's 785-332-2104. The Cheyenne County Hospital on 210 West Street in St. Francis.
You ready? One, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
There is a benefit to building a team and keeping it together for the length of time. But that does not happen anymore because of the portal and NIL and money.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps to the pros.
It's gone! Watch it fly! Jack Caglione, his first big league home run!
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with
Pestaway LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, and the Insurance Agency.
Let's go to work. 3 seconds left. Brunson got it! Jalen Brunson with a last 11 for New York. Caglione drills it high in the air, deep right field. His bat ablaze. It's a homer over the Royals bullpen. A Caglione clout on his own bobblehead night. Walker in over the line, got it for Hall. Hall, strong move coming in toward the net. They score! Taylor Hall wins it in game 2. Payoff pitch. Fly ball, left center field. This one back on its way. Ball game. Cubs win. Michael Conforto walks it off. And what a win here tonight.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. We are back on the Morning Blitz, broadcasting as always on Rocket 102.5 KLOE, NWKSradio.net. The Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. You can see our glorious shining faces each and every morning on YouTube, Facebook, and X. He's Garrett Wellbrock. I'm Ross Volkmer. Glad that you are with us for a Tuesday, May the 5th show. It's a bit damp out here on the High Plains today. Believe it or not, it's raining. It's raining, believe it or not. It is extremely overcast and raining. Temperatures are only supposed to get into the 40s today. And on top of that, there's even a chance of some of the white stuff appearing here on May the 5th.
Man,
so
that's crazy.
Yeah, and Cinco de Mayo. You going out to eat for Cinco de Mayo tonight?
I probably won't, but it does sound intriguing. What about you?
Grab Hannah and go get some Cinco de Mayo today.
I know that'd be really good, but I think I got to work tonight, unfortunately. So,
what do you got? What work you got tonight? Tiger Media Network stuff?
No, I over at Eagle Radio. I got.
Okay, got
shift. Yeah.
Oh, he's double dipping.
Yeah, double dipping right now.
He's figured it out how to make it work. Well, good. He'll be busy tonight. I am scheduled to do Goodland High School softball this afternoon, but Mother Nature might have something to say about that as it sits right now. Once again, this could let up and maybe the sun comes. The sun's not going to come out. I have a feeling just deep down that we're not going to be playing softball today. Just a gut feeling. It has not been announced as far as I know. It's just a gut feeling that I have. It seems a little damp. And then you add on the fact that it's not going to get above 40. So this stuff is not going to dry out. And so I just think it's going to be, and we're in Goodland where we don't have fancy tarps, that cover the field. We just deal with whatever Mother Nature throws at us. Don't have turf infields either. Play on dirt and grass. So, it's just whatever Mother Nature says we're going to do. So I have a feeling we're not going to see that happening today. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I will go out for Cinco de Mayo tonight if I've got nothing going on. It's really, maybe someday you'll learn this, Garrett. Someday, probably 10 years from now, when you have kids, going out just isn't as much fun, particularly when they're little. It's just not as much fun. Yeah. They complain about eating. They're crying at the table. They're not happy. They don't sit still. So you don't get to enjoy a meal. So At the Volkmer household, we just cook. And my wife is a wonderful cook. So we eat in a lot at our own house. We cook our own meals. So we do a lot of that. And it prevents the gray hairs from continuing to pile in, because if we ate out every night, I'd probably lose my mind.
Well, it is Taco Tuesday also, so you can kind of celebrate. You do
double dip.
Double
dip there.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you can have Taco Tuesday from a Cinco de Mayo restaurant, deliver it to the station for you.
There we go.
Thinking man right there.
That's
Thinking
a good
man.
idea.
There you go. Tell him, give him a little free shout out if you bring him. You know, maybe you throw in an extra taco for a free shout out.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
This broadcast powered by Tico's Tacos.
Exactly.
Whatever you want to call it. Today's program, we will be visiting with good friend of the program, former Goodland Cowboy, now Cloud County Community College pitcher Cole Linton will join the show today. He is the reigning Jayhawk pitcher of the year. He's a future pitcher at Tarleton State. Cloud County won the Jayhawk West for the first time ever here in 2026 to the Cloud County baseball team. So we'll get some thoughts from a young man who's been an integral part of making that a possibility. He also was named, I think, last week's Jayhawk Pitcher of the Week. Cole Linton was as well. So look forward to having Cole on the program. He's joined us many times before. My favorite was when he joined us from his time up in the Northwoods League and was talking about his experience of the beer batter. That was great. So yeah, you'll have to ask him. That's a great story about the beer batter from Cole Linton. So we'll talk to. And also I saw a great picture of him. They, the minor in those leagues, they have those odd nights where they have that one random night of where the uniform and team is completely different, and they had something about the Santa Clauses. And so they were all dressed in Santa Claus uniforms, is what it looked like to me. And it was the belt above the belt. It had the regular baseball belt, but then above that was the Santa Claus belt on the uniform, the old double belt picture. Yeah, and that's not a great look. Just want to let people know, but it was interesting. By the way, you got to go out. Have you ever looked at all the random names that they come up with for some of those one night off, one offer things? You ever seen those? You got to go digging around. There are some really, really good ones. There's one up in Wisconsin called the Udder Tuggers. I mean, that's phenomenally hilarious.
That is good. A lot of great team names up there too, to where they can do that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's all kinds of great things. I'll have to tell you one off air because I can't say that one over the air, but there's another really good one that's out there. I actually have a shirt for it. So anyway, so let's get to Cole Linton today. Royals fans getting the shaft is kind of the best way to put it with something that happened yesterday. Garrett's probably like, what is going on with this? I'll tell you, I saw something yesterday in social media. I had so much fun looking at it because I did not get burned by this, but I could totally understand if you were a Royals fan and did get burned by this. So we'll get to that in segment number 3. We'll touch on what happened in the NHL, NBA playoffs as well. We'll hit what happened with the Royals and Rockies yesterday too. So we'll get to all that coming up in today's program. But I want to kick off the show today talking about a story that happened last week. But I think it's fascinating because I think this could be something that we see a lot going in the future if we're talking about that. And so we will talk about that, about Duke set to play 3 basketball games on Amazon Prime. So we'll get to that coming up here in just a matter of seconds. Once again, don't forget that the FB Bank text line, you can hit us up, get your thoughts, your comments, your questions in there at 785-899-2222. Our newsman, Lucas Kenny, who is a Cloud County T-Bird alum, says go T-Birds this morning. So he's fired up to listen to today's show. Lucas, good morning. So yes, we will. So hit us up there with your thoughts, your comments on the FNB Bank text line. So news came out earlier last week that Duke is set to play UConn, Michigan, and Gonzaga, all powerhouse programs in men's college basketball, next season on Amazon Prime in what is a groundbreaking TV deal, as the Blue Devils are entering the first of its kind broadcast deal for huge 3 games that'll bring millions in NIL opportunities. So how is this different than any other television deal? I'll try to recap as best I can. So Duke, of course, is a part of the ACC. Their conference is tied to ESPN. And so anytime that Duke plays at home, the ESPN has the first rights to do the game. And most of the time they're going to take Duke and they're going to put it on ESPN, ESPN2, the U, ACC network, something. They're going to put it on there. They're going to put the Duke men's basketball team somewhere on there. More than likely on ESPN or ESPN2 because it's Duke. They're going to be on the big channels. And so so that's where they go. And then ESPN draws money from that viewership, of course. Duke is a major viewing eye. But ESPN gets some of that money, and then some of that money goes towards Duke, in the media TV rights deal, as we see every single time. We just talked about it yesterday with the Big Ten getting, $1.337 billion that is spread across the conference. Same thing in the ACC. It's not the same amount, but it's pretty close. So Duke is in this deal where they have a deal with the ACC is a deal with ESPN, and so Duke gets gets a portion of money for that. And then if Duke goes, let's say Duke plays a non-conference game at Nebraska. Let's just say this for fun. Duke plays a non-conference game at Kansas, whatever. Well, guess what? Kansas has deals with ESPN and with Fox and they bid on those games before the year to see who gets to have that game. So let's just say Fox is the one that won that bid for that Duke-Kansas game. Well, if that's the case, then Fox will work with Kansas and Duke and spread the money out a little bit evenly. That way, Kansas getting more portion because they're the home team. So that's kind of the deal there. So Duke is kind of going behind the back of ESPN a little bit here and has worked out a deal to take on 3 basketball powerhouses at neutral sites. That's another big thing. These are not home or away games. These are neutral site games. But since Duke is setting it up, they're going to be part of an NIL opportunity. So a majority of the money that Prime makes from this game, it's going to go towards the players. And I think this is going to be, honestly, we might be staring at something that's going to happen in the future. When you saw this article, what were you thinking, Garrett? Because that's what I thought. I thought we're looking at something that's going to be in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely feels that way. Just because we talked about it several times, how money affects everything, especially right now in college sports. And it's good for Duke, obviously. I mean, I don't know what the exact number will be that they're going to get in NIL, but I mean, that could be an extra 1 or 2 players that are 5-star recruits, so who knows what it might be. But I do think this is not good for college athletics just in general. Because I don't know if I really am a fan of one team. Like Duke seems to be the successor of this now, and you can only imagine how many other teams are just going to follow suit here in the next several seasons. And there's going to be a lot of teams that are burned by this because not everybody's a Duke, not everybody's that blue blood school that can get benefited by this.
Yeah, the Duke-Amazon partnership is a multi-year agreement, and the NIL opportunities for Duke will be huge, in the millions annually. That's what sources tell CBS Sports in this article. In fact, other event organizers had been pursuing Duke for significant non-conference games, but none of those could match the payouts that would come with Prime Video's package. So once again, instead of, like, for example, Amazon Prime or whatever you want to say, going to the conference, ACC, and saying, hey, we'd like to get in on this deal to cover Duke basketball. We'll pay you this. They just went straight past the ACC and said, hey, Duke, we'll pay you an absurd amount of money for you to have your games played on Amazon Prime over the next 3 seasons. If you play 3 games each season, we will pay you this percentage of what we make on it, which they don't have the numbers out here, but my guess is it must be pretty good if Duke is saying yes to it. And Duke can get away with it once again because they're not playing there in Durham, and they're not playing at an ACC school, and they're not playing in an arena of another power conference school that has a televisions deal. Mm-hmm. And so the question is, so I think, once again, there's 2 parts of me. One says this way is not going to work going forward because they're going to, in the next television rights deals, they're going to put something out there that in the contract that says you cannot schedule any games with any other television or streaming partners outside of the agreement that we have, or we are not going to include you in the money that you get from the conference. I could totally see that. That's one way I see it. And then the other way I see it, which I think is a possibility, as crazy as this might sound, colleges might just start shopping their own worth and going for there. Doing the Notre Dame type thing. Once again, Notre Dame is not affiliated with the conference. But guess what? They're affiliated with NBC. Anytime the Golden Domers play at home, they play on NBC. Not Prime. I mean, it is they play on Prime too, streamed on Prime, but they're not playing on Prime or NBC Sports Network or somewhere like that on a streaming channel. No, NBC, which once again is why, and Notre Dame is a national brand. Well, guess what? In this day and era where there are so many different streaming opportunities, whether it be Prime, Netflix, ESPN, Fox, whatever it may be, besides your television too, Tubi, I don't care, whatever else you want to throw in there. These are there's going to be say, hey, guess what? Kansas, we'd be willing to pay you, for 3 games of non-conference at a neutral site if you want to put your stuff out there. And I guarantee in today's culture where we're talking about trying to make in basketball $8 to $12 million rosters and more, maybe $15 million rosters, they're going to take every penny that they can get.
Yeah. I mean, because you have to do that nowadays. I mean, we see so many schools in the red. You have to take every little step in the right direction that you can if you're going to make money. And I'm not, obviously Duke, not sure what their financial situation looks like. I doubt it's in the red compared to some of the probably bottom tier ACC schools. But if those ACC schools were to hop on board, they would say the exact same thing. Of course, we're going to take that deal.
This story ties back into the Big Ten story I talked about yesterday. It just does. Are you keeping up with the Joneses? Because guess what? The Big Ten and Michigan and those teams are reeling in $85 to $90 million a year just from television. Guess what the ACC is reeling in? Duke is reeling in just from their television deal. Probably 50, maybe 60 on a good day. That's still $30 to $40 million behind the Big Ten. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Now, yeah, of course, you can have great boosters that can help, keep your program going and stuff like that. But that's $40 million. That's a humongous gap to fill, and boosters aren't going to be able to fill that more than likely. Mm-hmm. So you're looking for ways to close that gap with some of the best teams. And guess what? This is a way to do it. I just think looking at it like this is either going to go one of two ways. It either gets completely squashed by the conference that says, well, if you pull this, we're pulling your funding and you're no longer going to get the money from the conference, which then you're going to see teams pull away and say, well, certain teams, not all teams, certain teams like Duke basketball have the clout to probably go independent, for example, and say, we don't want to be a part of the ACC. We'll just play independence all the time. And we'll have our own TV deal with Amazon Prime. Think about that. I mean, that is what could happen. I mean, it could be totally that thing. Could you imagine, all the blue blood powers in basketball, Kansas, Duke, whoever else you want to throw in there, North Carolina, whoever, throw any of the teams that are known for their Arizona, your big power blue blood programs are like, you know what? We're not going to be a part of a conference anymore. We're going to break away when our deal is over, and we're just going to take our own deals and make our own money that way.
It's crazy. And it's when you think about like independence in football, it's a lot different than when you look at basketball, because basketball, you almost have to have a conference, you would think. You got the conference tournament, you got NCAA tournament, which is so much different from football. Like obviously every team going into like March 1st is still technically alive, unless they've been, those some leagues that they don't carry every team in the conference tournament, but everybody in the Power Four is definitely still alive. And even if you had a 13-19 regular season, like you can get on a run, win your conference tournament, and make the NCAA. If you're an independent, what does that look like now? And how does scheduling work? Because every other team is in their heart of the conference schedule. Like, what would that look like? I think it would be a disaster for college sports. But kind of like to your point, it's probably coming. Maybe it's in 5 years. Maybe it's in 2. Maybe it's in 12. Who knows? But it's probably on its way.
You talk about college sports a disaster. We're there, folks. We are there. You have let the cat out of the bag, the toothpaste out of the tube. It is gone. It is out. Whether it was gambling, NIL, portal movement, it's all out of the bag, and getting it back in the bag is going to be nearly impossible to do so. And because the institutions pretty much bullied the NCAA to do these things and let these things happen, and then student athletes just sued the living daylights in somebody. They're like, fine, we'll let it burn. And you know what? And guess what? It's happening. But once again, it really just depends. Because like I said, if you're a big enough brand, you can do this kind of thing where you can go to Amazon Prime in this example here and say, hey, we'll just stream all our games on Prime. We'll do that. We don't have a problem with that. If you're a big enough brand, you can pull that off because you can pull in the streaming numbers to do so. But there's a lot of institutions that cannot do that. I think, what are your thoughts on this? And we'll get to break right this. What are your thoughts on the, on the why can I not think of it now? Over in Europe, the Premier League in soccer, the relegation. Do you think we're going to see that in college sports? You could kind of tie this into this a little bit.
That would be like, what would it kind of tie into? Like if you're in a conference and you go bad bad.
Let's just say they get rid of conferences and they go with super conferences. So you're taking the top 5-10 programs from each conference. So there's 40 teams in a super conference, for example. And those are your top Division I teams. And then there's a big bar. And then below that, you've got we'll just throw in your Marshalls, your Rutgers, your bottom feeding Division I teams. And then, but if they're good enough, we'll just use Rutgers as an example. They get good enough and they're able to finish, they finished at the top of their respected spot and then jump into the next league up. I don't know if you ever follow Premier League soccer, but that's kind of what it was, like Leeds United was here and then they jumped up into the big league. Well, then they fell back down. You have to keep being good to stay up here. Otherwise you fall down you get relegated down to the lower division.
I would be interesting to see. I don't know if that'll ever happen. That kind of seems.
I know it seems
crazy,
don't it?
Yeah, it does. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I still love conferences. I love the old school style. I mean, even the super conferences, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's starting to grow on me. Like seeing Oregon in the Big Ten, seeing UCLA, Stanford in the ACC, but to see that, I don't know how that would ever work for the relegation system because we are talking, I know it seems like football, basketball is the only sports that matter in college sports, but we do have other ones. There are, what would you call the B tier sports necessarily? Where there is
lower tier nonprofit making sports.
Exactly. But those are still a thing. And the scheduling for that is still athletic directors still have to make a schedule. And so I wonder what that would look like also.
Once again, I think we're just talking about basketball and football at this point in time, breaking away and doing their own thing. I think you could still see, your softball, your baseball still running in conference, all that kind of stuff. We're coming up on one of my favorite times of year here in the next couple of weeks. College baseball tournament week. Give me more of that. You don't have to pay me if you just want to fly me down to Hoover to watch the SEC baseball tournament for 6 days. I do it.
My favorite part is just you wake up early. It's 11 a.m. You turn on the TV. There's a game on.
That's right. There it is.
There's a game on. It's like in Champ Week for March Madness throughout that first week of conference tournament, and then the NCAA, of course. You just turn on TV and you got a game.
It's phenomenal. So it is coming up one of my favorite times of the year. But yeah, I think going back once again, putting a bow on this, I just think looking at this scenario with Duke basketball, I think this is something to really pay attention to because NIL is a huge thing in order to build competitive rosters and if you're Duke, you're looking for any way to get back in the game because right now, Duke, you've got a lot of hurdles. You got to try to recruit the best freshmen because you really can't go in the portal every single year and get new players because your academic qualifications are pretty high. So you just can't go get anybody. So you got to have that money to pull in the best and the smartest to come to your school. And that can be hard to do because those guys can be expensive. So they've got to find ways to pull in more money. This type of deal, once again, with an NIL just going to that school that partners with it, I don't know. I think this is something to watch. And like you said, it could be 2 years. I think it's further down the line, 5 to maybe 10 years down the line. Look out for this. When television contract deals come up, this is something to watch because some schools could be like, we're going to go on our own and we're going to make way more money. So we don't have to even split the profits for everybody else. We don't have to do that. We'll see.
It's going to suck for the fans too.
Absolutely.
That have to go buy like you mentioned Tubi. I've never owned Tubi in my life. Now I have Amazon Prime, so I can watch Duke games if I want to.
Well,
but yeah,
it's
but like
amazing.
there's so many of them. You know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you're a streamer like I am, so you have YouTube TV to catch all your regular stuff like that. But guess what? If you want to watch something on Netflix, you got to pay for that. If you want to watch something on Peacock, you got to pay for that. You want to watch it. It doesn't matter. You may be saving money by maybe not spending $200 on direct TV, for example. But by the time you add up Prime, all this stuff, you're still getting pretty close. You're just having to pick more spots. It's a challenge. I'm with you 100%. It's a challenge. I don't love it, but that's the era we live in right now.
Yep.
It's not better times. Before we get to break, Michael says he's our resident huge KU fan. He goes, I dig it. You can watch games in 4K on Prime. Put all the KU games on it. I'm with you, Michael. I'm a huge 4K fan myself. I don't know why in the year of 2026 we don't have more 4K. I think we should be having more games on 4K.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. And there is a difference between 4K and 1080p. No doubt about it.
Well, and they also have Amazon Prime, at least for the football. I don't know what they'll do for basketball. I mean, I don't really watch a ton of the NBA, like regular season or whatnot. But for football season, they had different angles, too. Like, you could watch a sky cam of the game if you wanted to. And it was
the stat cast
cool.
and the things like that. Yep.
That's pretty cool. I mean, not everybody is interested in that, but there might be a few people that would be interested.
I guarantee they will.
Yeah.
Guarantee that they will. Fascinating story. But once again, the future of college sports on television might be changing coming up the next decade. Something we'll have to keep our eye on with this deal between Duke and Amazon Prime. I think it's something that we could see possibly happening a lot more going forward, or it going to change the way that we view our sports and teams possibly get television deals. Something to watch. All right, 7:34 Mountain, 8:34 Central Time on Cinco de Mayo. Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. It's a damp and chilly one here on the High Plains. We're back after a break. We're going to talk with our good friend Cole Linton of the Cloud County Community College baseball team next. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
Here's a bright idea. Make sure you put your pants on before leaving the house. Sure, it seems simple, but sometimes simple doesn't happen. At IdeaTech, we think it's simple to have real people who live in Kansas helping customers. We understand that not everyone in our industry agrees. Then again, not everyone puts on pants before they leave the house. We think it's important to get the simple things right. Putting our pants on and providing local customer service. Another bright idea from IdeaTech.
It's simple. Get IdeaTech fiber internet at ideatech.com.
When you gotta go, but there's nowhere to go, who you gonna call? Topside Portables and Pumping, that's who. Weddings, job sites, farm parties, they've got clean, reliable porta potties that don't stink, literally. And if your septic tank smells worse than last year's chili cook-off, they'll pump it out fast. No mess, no fuss. Family owned, Heartland values, always ready. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. When duty calls, they answer.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson with Skyland Grain. Today is Tuesday, May 5th. Grain's weaker on the overnight. July corn down 3 cents, 482.5. September down 2 3/4 at 487.25. December corn down 2.5 at 501 3/4. July soybeans down 4 1/4 at 12.18. August down 4 1/4 at 12.11 1/4. November beans down 3 1/4 at 11.92 3/4. Kansas City wheat, the July contract lower 10 1/4 at 6.84 1/4. September down 10, 6.96.5. December hard wheat down 9.5 at 7.11 3/4. Chicago wheat, the July contract lower 6 3/4 at 6.34.5. September down 6.5 at 6.50 1/4. December down 6 3/4 at 6.71. Livestock side of things, live cattle lower $1.05 at $251.95. Feeders down $4.25, $367 flat. Lean hogs down $1.15 at $91.70. On the stock market side of things, the Dow up 182 at 49,261. The S&P up 32 at 7,262. The Nasdaq up 197 at 27,975. Gold higher $41 an ounce at 4,574. Crude oil down $3.20 a barrel at $103.22. If you have questions about marketing cash grain, you can call our Colorado office, 970-744-4484, our Kansas City office at 913-748-3000, or our Ulysses office at 602-356-7800.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
This is Chad Epler, Kansas Corn Commissioner and a farmer from Southeast Kansas. We're always looking for ways to add value to the corn we grow, and that's why the National Corn Growers Association and the Kansas Corn Commission support innovations like AirTerra air filters made from corn-based materials. AirTerra turns our crops into high-performance air filters that help clean the air in your home and office, creating new markets for corn and supporting rural communities. When you choose AirTerra, you're supporting farm families and homegrown innovation. Kansas Corn is working for farmers and working for you.
From the headlines to the highlights.
It's good! The Wildcats are champions of the Big 12!
This is the Morning Blitz.
Chugging along on a Tuesday show here on the Morning Blitz. Glad you're with us. We will be talking about why I think Royals fans got hosed here coming up. In our final segment, we'll get you updated what happened with Royals and the Rockies and other sporting events from yesterday. I want to do a little semi-local talk here. Coming up beginning this weekend, it is the first round of the Plains District Baseball Tournament. Colby Community College will be in action playing at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. We'll try and get Coach Ryan Carter on later on this week to talk about that. But a good friend of the program, former Goodland Cowboy, now Cloud County T-Bird pitcher Cole Litton, has been a part of some history there at Cloud County as the T-Birds won their first ever Jayhawk Conference West Division title in program history. Cole, good morning, my friend. Thank you for joining us. And how does it sound, man, to be a part of some history there at Cloud County?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been amazing. Celebrated the last couple days, with some honoring sophomores on Saturday and stuff like that with the championship too. But, it's been awesome. That was something we worked for all of off season, and certainly was my goal the last 2 years, and finally getting that. It's been amazing.
Can you talk to me about 47-5 as a record? Because in baseball, that sounds ridiculously dumb.
Yeah, no, it still sounds ridiculous when I see it or say it, honestly. Our program record we set it last year at 48 wins, and, we need 2 more to break that now. And it's, not even the first round of the tournament yet. But it's pretty amazing, to be a part of something pretty that amazing. And, blew my expectations out of the water. That's for sure.
Is this something that you kind of had a feeling when you signed with Cloud and Coach Gilliland? You kind of had the feeling that maybe this could be something brewing over these last couple of years?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the past 3 or 4 years, we finished top 2 or 3 in the West. It seems like every year, and then finally getting it done this year. And so, signing on, I kind of knew, we had that opportunity, and, getting second last year, and then kind of just made us hungry for it this year. And then going to the fall, we had an amazing fall and won a lot of games. And I was like, this is something that, we could definitely accomplish. And so, definitely was in the back of my mind for sure.
When you look back at this season and kind of your development from your freshman to sophomore year, what are you most proud of?
I think my leadership, more than anything. Coming here, I was I knew 2 or 3 guys, didn't really know many people, a lot of Canadians, so you had to make a lot of new connections. And I've always been kind of shy, kind of quiet kid, and then now this year kind of having to step into that leadership role of being an older guy and someone that's been through it, and kind of a veteran, so to speak, in the, I guess you can say at the JUCO level, but just being that guy that the team kind of needs to lead them. And I'd say that was my biggest, development. Even if it wasn't on the field, I think for sure that was my biggest.
Cole Linton is our guest here on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware Hotline. A former Goodland Cowboy, now a pitcher of the Cloud County Community College. He's the reigning Jayhawk West Pitcher of the Year, but he's part of a run for the T-Birds now that have led them to their first West Division title in the program's history. Was there anything about going into this season that felt kind of different? Like, I think we could do something special this year. Was there that kind of pre-season, game feeling type of that before the year got rolling?
Oh, definitely. Some of our off-season stuff, we do a lot of competing and a lot of hard stuff that get us, mentally and physically ready for the season. And a lot of that stuff was just so much fun and competitive. And that talking trash the whole time. Your brothers, your teammates, even at that point, are still just letting you have it when you mess up. And I think our competitiveness has definitely shown this year. And I'd say part of that was from the off-season workouts and even going back to the fall. I think we lost maybe 2 games this fall out of 30 that we played, and so even then I kind of knew that we could have something special here, and I think it's finally come to fruition now, and hopefully the next few weeks.
Kind of switching gears just a little bit. You're headed to Tarleton State next season. Let's talk about like what that was like getting recruited and why Tarleton State necessarily?
Yeah. So I signed with them kind of early November. Went on a visit, actually on my birthday. So it was kind of fun. But went down there, absolutely loved it. I loved the town of Stephenville. The program itself, I thought was very similar to how we do things here at Cloud. And so just felt like I was at home and felt, comfortable with the coaches and the guys that were there, and felt that they could be a team that had success. And, they knew what they were doing. I love the coaches. So, honestly, it was a pretty easy decision for me. I didn't have a ton of, D1 interest. Had Tarleton, obviously, and then Southern Illinois University of Edwardsville was my other D1 offer. And then had some other D2s, Pitt State, Washburn, some of those schools that offered as well. But at the time, wanted to sign with a Division I school if I was going to sign early, and felt that Tarleton was the best fit for me.
He can't admit it, but he can only wear black or gold or purple. There's the only 3 colors Cole Linton can well. So that's the only thing that he wore black and gold for his high school and college career. And then he's like, I guess I got to stick to the family tradition, go purple at Tarleton State. That's why. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How has Tarleton State been doing this year? Out of curiosity, I haven't really been following that. How have they been doing this year in the college baseball realm?
They're doing really well. I think they're like 31-16 right now. I think they're in first in the WAC standings as far as I know. I think they've got a pretty decent chance of making the tournament. I think they're maybe one of those first 4 out, maybe last 4 in. They're right on that brink of making the tournament. But they've had a really good year, played a lot of really, really good teams, had a couple wins over Baylor, and then another win against University of Texas, and really close loss against Texas A&M and some other schools like TCU and Texas Tech. So they've had a really good year so far. It's really fun to watch and follow.
Cole Linton is our guest, at Cloud County Community College pitcher. The T-Birds are the number 2 seed in this baseball Plains District tournament that gets going here starting on Thursday. They will be taking on Highland. They're in Concordia, starting with game 1 starting, I think, on Thursday. So, and it's a best of 3 series. So they got to win 2 out of 3 to advance. Does this just feel like the start of another season because of, you guys have being the number 2 ranked team in the country? And they're like, well, we've got a long way to go because we want to make it all the way to the NJCAA World Series. Does it feel like it's just the start of another season?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, everything starts brand new now, right? Gilly, our coach, said the best yesterday. Some of those teams, at the bottom of the division, maybe coming into the first round of the playoffs, it's a new season. Anything can happen. So, and that can go both ways, right? So, we're just being prepared and ready to go, and anything can happen in the playoffs. And so, yeah, definitely feels like a new season. But keeping in mind what we did all season long and sticking to that. Just playing our best baseball, and it matters the most right now.
Of course, the Jayhawk Conference, probably one of the more tougher conferences in the country and the JUCO ranks. Just talk about how that has prepared you for the postseason. I know you will probably play a lot of your Jayhawk Conference foes in the postseason here coming up, but if you are to get further to the World Series, how has this tough schedule kind of helped you get ready for that?
It's helped us a lot. Yeah, obviously, we haven't played Johnson County yet, but pretty cool to look at the national rankings and see 2 Jayhawk schools at 1 and 2. But playing teams like Hutchinson and Barton and in conference, but then also playing teams like Tyler Junior College and Weatherford early on in February, I think just prepared us both mentally and physically to play well and against good teams and prepare us to play against some of the top teams in the country and just play our best baseball when it matters.
Cole, I mean, do you feel like this team is very complete? Like you've got great offensive hitting, good pitching, good fielding. You feel like it's a very complete baseball team, or where do you think the strength lies with this T-Bird squad?
I don't know if I can pick out a single strength, honestly. I think we're pretty all well-rounded. I think we're like 5th in the country in home runs. Our pitching staff is loaded. And our defense is amazing. So, I mean, it's hard to pick one, but, I think we're all around just a really, really good baseball team. And I think that's kind of propelled us more than anything. Not just one single facet of the game, but, all of them.
Cole, before we let you go, I got to ask, what are your plans for the summer? You've had opportunities to go play up in the Northwoods. Are you going to go take advantage of that again this summer? Are you heading down south to get work with the college team? What's the plans for the summer months ahead after, of course, a long postseason run here with Cloud, obviously?
Yeah, I don't really have any plans right now. I'm not playing any summer ball this summer. Tarleton coaches want me to take some time off. Thrown quite a bit the last 2 seasons, so want me to just take some rest and get away from the game for a little bit. But so probably be at home for most of it. Might go down, move in early, kind of get used to the Texas heat and kind of get adapted to the conditions down there. But also while I'll be home, I'll be coaching the K-team baseball team as well. So maybe won't be playing any baseball this summer, but we'll definitely still be around it quite a bit.
Will you keep the stash during the off season is the question.
Oh, 100%. But I ain't going anywhere for a while, I don't think.
Cole Linton, Cloud County Community College pitcher, friend of the program, former Goodland Cowboy. Well, Cole, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate your time. Best luck to you and the T-Birds with the upcoming postseason. We'll catch up sometime this summer. All right, buddy?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Once again, great stuff there. That's Cole Linton, Cloud County Community College T-Bird pitcher. I would ask him, but he doesn't know. But I was like, what are your thoughts on winning back-to-back Jayhawk West Pitcher of the Years? Hard to pin that down. Who knows? It's not. Be hard to figure that out. But anyway, great to have Cole on. Wish him the best of luck as the T-Birds are the number 2 seed and number 2 ranked team in the country. What a year, 47-5. I still can't. That record just blows my mind. 47-5.
The fact that that's not number 1 is even crazier.
I know. It tells you how. And the other team that has a better record than you, that's number 1, is in your conference. So tough.
The thing that sucks about it, I'm pretty sure they're going to play each other.
Yeah.
To get to the World Series. So if everything goes the way it probably should, those 2 teams will meet up in the championship. But man, what a game that would be. That would be a fun college baseball game to attend.
That is scheduled to be played on May 16th at X Stadium in Wichita is where that is scheduled to be played, that championship game. It could possibly happen before then on the day before, also at X Stadium. But yeah, if you're Cloud County, you got to beat Highland first. Then you've either got Fort Scott or Barton in the next round. So you've got some winning to do, but it is double elimination. Mm-hmm. So if you do have a slip up, you do have a chance to get back into it. But we'll see. We'll follow along that for sure here on the Morning Blitz. And thanks again to Cole Linton for joining the program. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We will wrap up the show with the Royals fans getting hosed. And I'll explain why next. That's next here on the Morning Edition.
They deliver far and wide. Inc.com.
Boy, howdy, are we in the big travel season. Have peace of mind that trained and certified crews from S&M Towing, Recovery and Repair stand by round the clock, ready to help you. The tri-state area rely on these teams from Goodland, Burlington, Colby, and Oakley. When troubles arise, get roadside assistance, towing, and recovery anytime, any size. Call 785-899-5423, 899-5423.
What if your soil could work harder without more inputs? Fed and Happy Base Camp is biologically alive, packed with worm castings, minerals, and microbioenergy that builds structure, holds moisture, and unlocks nutrients already in your ground and in the air above. Less waste, more resilience, better yields. Stop farming against your soil. Start farming with it. Fed and Happy Base Camp. Talk to us today and see the difference this season.
At NextTech Wireless, we built a network for Kansans by Kansans. But just because our roots are here, it doesn't mean your adventures have to be. Take that trip, explore new places, make new memories. You can count on reliable service every step of the way. Bring your number to us to get unlimited data plus a Samsung Galaxy S26 for as low as $25 a month. NextTech Wireless, connecting Kansans for 20 years, wherever life takes you.
Quick hits, bold takes, and all the action.
I'll take that action.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz.
All right, just a couple minutes left to go on a Tuesday show. Once again, thanks to Cole Litton. Thanks to all of our listeners. Appreciate everyone chiming in and being a part of the show here on a overcast and cool Tuesday on the High Plains. Like I said, I think we're going to see probably some postponements, some events today. We'll see, particularly if it's here in Northwest Kansas. Definitely gray, cloudy, and I think the rain has let up, though, at this point in time, so we'll see. As we wrap up the show, yesterday, the Royals with a nice victory over the Guardians. They get it done last night, does Kansas City. Offensive explosion by their standards to an extent. They win 6-2 there over the Guardians. Michael Wacha, golly, he wasn't fishing. He only needed 79 pitches to work 7 innings. I mean, that's efficiency right there from a former pitcher yourself.
Yeah, they're pitching, and like we said, I think it was yesterday, right? We were saying how their pitching could possibly carry them as far after this slow start. And I mean, these last 3 games, it's been unreal. They get 2, 1, and now 2 again. And not to just bad teams. Mariners and Guardians right now are 2 playoff teams from a year ago. So good offenses, and they're just shutting them down.
Yeah, Bobby Wood Jr. had a home run to spark a 4-run fourth. Salvador Perez tied the game earlier in the frame. Nick Lofton delivered a big run with a 2-run single. Jack Caglione had another homer. He's real hot as of late, is Cags. And the Royals, they've won 4 in a row and 8 of their last 10. So they're playing pretty good baseball right now, are the Royals. Game 2 of that series is tonight with coverage starting at 6 o'clock Central. Of course, you can listen on our sister station, AM 790 KXXX. The reason why I've been saying that Royals fans have been getting hosed, did you happen to see that that MLB TV did a recent deal for Royals fans? Hey, Royals fans, catch the rest of the season for half price off right now. A deal going on for the next 5 days. So the way it works is if you want to watch all the Royals games and you live in the state of Kansas, you have to, of course, pay for that. And that would be $100 when the season began from MLB TV. And you could watch all the Royals games for MLB. You could spend, I think it was $200 and get every single game that you wanted. Every single game of Major League Baseball you could watch no matter what market was in. Or you could just spend the $100 and get that. Well, apparently sales weren't going that great for the Royals. So they said, how about 50% off now, Royals fans? And the amount of tweets that got from Royals fans that said, are you kidding me? Because I signed up and had to watch the stinky first half of this first month of the season, now you're going to cause me a $50 loss? What? There were so many people, including our good friend Riley Gates of the program, who was white hot over that.
That's funny.
Think about that. So imagine, you live in Seattle, you watching the Mariners, I want to watch every game this year. So you spend $100 on the Mariner package, and they stink it up the first month. They're like, you know what? We didn't see enough sales. How about 50% off? Then you're like, I spent $100. Am I going to get a refund for 50? Because that ain't happening.
That's what I was thinking. You should get a refund for that, but it won't happen. And
so that's the reason why Royals fans are getting screwed over this.
I can imagine a few people I know that are very upset about that. We did me and my dad, we were splitting the $200 one, so I can watch the Mariners, he can watch the Royals.
Smart, man.
And
Smart, man.
I bet he would like his $50 back.
He would like his $50 back. And the problem is, it's not like if the Royals had a great first, 30 games of the season. No, they stunk it up. It wasn't great. And so we paid $100 to watch this turd. And now you're going to give a discount when they start getting better. What is this?
I bet if they would have started out hot, it would have just been same price because sales would have been perfectly fine. They're a good baseball team.
Yeah, might have. And they wouldn't have changed it. They wouldn't have. But they didn't see enough, income. That was the road. They're like, God, we haven't seen a lot of money spent on this. We got to find a way to get some more money. Well, but if we cut it in half, okay. You know what? $50 for the whole year? Yeah, I'll pay for that. Shoot, that's a deal. I'm telling you, Royals fans got screwed in that deal. They absolutely got screwed on that. Rockies
fans.
Yes, sure. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Your diehard fans got screwed.
Yeah.
You're just kind of so-called fans, kind of like me, who I like watching the Royals, but it's not a huge deal if I don't see every game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's not a bad deal. But if for the diehards, they got it. They got it at the tailpipe. They got it up the tailpipe yesterday. Feel bad for those people, but it is kind of funny to watch social media react to that. It does make me chuckle. Rockies, by the way, they'd lost their 5th straight last night, 4-2 to the Mets. The funny thing is they moved that game up to avoid the cold front. They got it in. I don't even know why, because they might even play the next couple days. It's gonna be snow in Colorado. It'll be frigid cold and snow. They might not even play. But my boy Mickey Moniak, hot. They get a double and a triple last night. It's my guy.
The Coors effect. But he's actually been pretty good on the road too. I saw his splits that of course he's hitting better at home, but he hasn't been like just awful on the road. He's been like average, which is it's good for him. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Real quick local sports shout out here before we get to the walk-off. But shout out Colby Eagle boys tennis team. They're GWAC champs yesterday. They won it in Scott City. Tony Yeager, singles champ. Teammate Jack Denny coming in second. Denny, by the way, named GWAC Player of the Year. Congratulations to him. Scott City finishes runners up there at their own event, or hosting there in Scott City. Regional play begins on Friday for area tennis teams. As I mentioned, there is some sports today. Goodland softball is scheduled to host Holcomb today. We're scheduled to have coverage of that here on Rocket 102.5. We will see if Mother Nature is going to allow that to happen. Same thing for probably Colby softball. They are scheduled to host Ulysses today. Colby baseball's on the road at Ulysses. They might get those games in. I don't think this system is going to hit Southwest Kansas. Decatur Community goes to Plainville for baseball. You've got the Garden City track invite. That'll be a chilly one. Boy, I ran in some cold track meets growing up. I'm telling you. I'll never forget the one at it was a day like today, but the wind was blowing 30 mile an hour. Day like today. Gloomy, cray, kind of rainy. We ran at Sandy Creek. I'll never forget that. That was cold.
Is there anything worse than that either? I mean, there's no barrier. Like, in a baseball game, if it's cold, at least you could go into the dugout, warm up. Like track meet, unless you are able to like hide away under the bleachers. It's
rough.
Really not much.
It is. It's so rough. You're exactly right. But there's that today. The Orbital Invitational scheduled for today. Goodland Golf is scheduled to go to the Syracuse Invite. That's all scheduled for today. We'll see what gets in and what does not.
High drive, deep left, grand slam, and back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Difference going on in New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
You got any nutty stats for us in the walk-off today, Garrett? Anything that you've seen from the playoffs or something come across your screen?
Well, I didn't know if you saw yesterday, Victor Wembanyama broke the
12 blocks.
Yeah,
right?
the block record in a single game.
And they lost.
I know. He could have had a quadruple double if he had more assists. That was the only thing that he needed, which is crazy. That's crazy that like I got the notification he gets a triple double, and then I see it's a blocks.
Yeah.
What's going on? But yeah, crazy win for the T-Wolves to get one on the road.
They're looking good. That was a huge win for them on the road. By the way, those talk about throwback uniforms. Those ones the Spurs wore. I love that color scheme. The teal, the pink, whatever. That's kind of a fun, different look. Let's see. Knicks win big last night as well. Yeah. They're up big in that series. So we'll see. Avalanche play tonight, by the way. Game 2. They're up 1-0 in that against that. Oh, also, cannot forget about the hottest team in college baseball tonight. Kansas plays Creighton tonight in Omaha. Jayhawks, 10 straight, 21 of their last 22. Dominic Vogel was named Big 12 Pitcher of the Week again. He had 15 strikeouts against Arizona. So KU is continuing their unbelievable season tonight. Kansas State, by the way, they said, we're not going to play in this weather against Missouri State and Omaha. We're canceling this. Thanks. We're done.
KU could be foreshadowing a possible visit up there in a couple of months.
Possibly.
A couple of months, really 1 month, but yeah.
Less than that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. All right. That'll do it for our show today. For Garrett Wellbrock, I'm Ross Volkmer. Thanks as always for tuning in. Have a great Cinco de Mayo. We're back tomorrow on the 6th. Have a good one. It's been the Blitz.